Back in another video. Today's video is another episode of every album ranked. Today I'll be ranking all the albums by Stone Temple Pilots from least best to overall best. I've already reviewed each of these albums. Now it's time for me to rank them. Just as a disclaimer, this does not reflect anyone else's opinion, it's only my personal opinion. With that out of the way, let's get on with the list. Starting on the list is Tiny Music, Songs to the Vatican Gift Shop from '96. Now, when I reviewed this album, I said that it's not as good as the other material by STP. It's not a bad album by any means. It's just that it's not as good as the band's other material. Moving up, we have High Rise from 2013. This is the band's only EP. Their only material with Chester Bennington as their lead singer, and their only material to be released independently, despite being distributed by Alternative Distribution Alliance. It's just sad knowing this is the only STP record that Chester Bennington ever worked on, but it's still enjoyable nonetheless. Next on the list is the band's self-titled album from 2018. It's the first album by STP to have Jeff Gutt as their lead singer. Fun fact, I recently had a customer at my store who was wearing a Stone Temple Pilots shirt. I commented saying that she has a cool shirt and that I saw STP in concert in August of 2018. She told me that she was at the same concert, and I thought that was really cool. Up next, we have Perdita from 2020. My latest album review focused on this album. It is quite interesting hearing STP use vintage instruments on this album. In my review, I stated this is better than the previous album by STP. I'm looking forward to what material they have going forward. Next up, we have Shangri-La-Di-Da from 2001. It's the last STP album to have any involvement from longtime producer Brendan O'Brien. Personally, I thought this album was an interesting experiment given the number of instruments that the band members were using on it. And just listening to it kind of sounded like STP were planning to split up, which they did in 2003. They did get back together in 2008, though. Moving forward, we have Purple from '94. This is the band's second album and is one of their most successful albums. Even though I didn't like it as much as their debut album, I still think it's a great album regardless. The 30th anniversary of this album will be next year. The next album on the list is number 4 from '99. This is quite possibly the heaviest album by STP, since it's mostly in the hard rock genre. It's also one of my favorite STP albums. Also, the 25th anniversary is next year. We're almost at the end, and the second best STP album is their self-titled album from 2010. This was made as the band's comeback album, their first album to be completely self-produced, and their last album to be released on Atlantic Records. It's also their last album to have Scott Weiland as their lead singer, before he was fired from the band in February of 2013. When I reviewed this album, I said that's my favorite STP album. This is an amazing album, but there is one of their albums that I think is even better. And this is it. My number one pick for the best STP album is Core from '92. It's really a toss-up between this and the 2010 album. But this is one of those rare times where I think the band's debut album is their best work. Of course, this is the 25th anniversary Super Deluxe Edition, which is even better than the regular version. I will certainly include this in a future video on the best albums of the 90s. And those are my official rankings for the albums by Stone Temple Pilots. I know that not everyone is going to agree with my picks, but what can you do? If you want to hear my full thoughts regarding these albums, I'm going to include links to each of my reviews in the description. Now is the part where I question you. What do you think of my rankings for the albums by STP? How would you rank their albums? Which one is your favorite? Which one is your least favorite? Let me know in the comments. If you like the video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Be sure to press the notification bell to notify future videos. Thanks for watching. I'll be back soon with another video.